following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing where every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
British punk, yo, what I wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Star's.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a fantastic show for you guys today. We've got really, really great guests, but before we tell you who they are, let's say hi to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Who is on the warpath.
Okay, wait, tell everybody on your warpath in a second. Ron's coming back to the warpath, everybody.
On the warpath.
We got a chat room full of people. What's up? Cindy Lady Lake, hello. Teresa Sabin, Don Hinton, B. Claudia, I think, is in there. Backpack John is in there. I know people are just jumping in now, but hello, everybody. We got a really fun show for you guys today. We have actor and radio host Al Bandiero coming on. Rocky Four's coming out next week.
Bandero.
Bandiero.
Bandero.
No, he's Italian.
Yeah, that's how you say it, Bandero.
Well, you can ask him that when he comes on.
That's Alfonso Bandero. That's his name. I speak Italian, you Irish Mick.
And then we have from Clueless and from oh shit, I forgot. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Already with the
you guys, we have Elisa Donovan coming on, and she's got a great new book coming out, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But they love your peach shirt, they said. Eileen's in the chat room. Hub Reynolds is in the chat room. What's up, everybody? Eileen Shapiro. Hey, everybody. So let me go back because Ron has to rant real quick.
Well, before I rant, I want you all to know that Eileen Shapiro promised me that she was coming to visit us in December. And if she doesn't come, then we know she's a full of shit, make-believe promiser. And I want everybody out there to know that she says things and lies like a rug because she promised me she was coming here in December.
But it's only November.
I know, but we'll see. If she's not here in December, then everybody knows that she's full of shit. She's just a liar.
Oh, and they said nothing cuter than a gay man in plaid.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I'm on the warpath with Facebook.
Uh-oh.
I think Facebook is probably the worst thing that's ever come to the media because they are communists, all of them, young communists who have stupid socialistic thinking. They do not believe in freedom of press or freedom of speech. I was put on parole or put in jail for a month for a silly little joke I sent to a friend of mine, Ted, which really was nothing more than a joke. And after I wrote the joke, I put ha, ha, ha after it. They're using that as an excuse to get me off the wire because I have written things about our government, things about what are going on in our country, like the homeless, like $450,000 of our tax-paying dollars going who knows where, why. I question these things. I ask, why is Facebook changing their name? You're not allowed to do this on Facebook. They want you to stay stupid and gossip and just put pictures up of your fucking dog and your cat or your tits or your pussy, whatever the hell you got to put up, and keep it stupid. The minute you're intelligent, you write political stuff that might enlighten America, they take you off. I have many friends of mine that have been taken off for 6 months. Because
poor Johnny Parati, we loved him.
Don't mention names.
Oh.
because they wrote political stuff that was not in the favor of Facebook.
But you didn't
Facebook
write anything.
Facebook is a Democrat publication. There's nothing about Republicans. When people were tearing Donald Trump apart and saying, kill the bastard, I hate his fucking guts, they wrote that.
Don't say that stuff.
And they left it. They left it on Facebook. But if you say something as silly as "I'll kick your ass," they take you off
And you wrote
punish
laugh
you.
out loud at the end of it.
And I put laughing out loud, and it was to a good friend of mine, Ted. And what I said was, Ted, because he's from the South, he's from Atlanta, Georgia, and he keeps calling me sir. So I said, Ted, don't call me sir. My name is Ron. Sir makes me feel like we're strangers. So then he kiddingly wrote back, Mr. Russell. So I wrote back, I said, you know what? If you keep this up, I'm going to kick your ass. Call me Ron, please. Ha, 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 ha. And they punished me for that. But they didn't punish the person that I knew, who's a person in Palm Springs, who wrote the most horrendous, hideous, evil, mean things about Donald Trump's wife. Whore, lesbian, tramp, garbage, woman unfit to have a child, should have had that boy. All the rotten, horrible, despicable things they said about another human being was permitted on Facebook. Yet if you go and rebut that and say to them, why did you allow that? They put you in jail. And then when you write back and say why you're in jail, they say unable to establish this. So you don't go anywhere with Facebook. Now I want to leave Facebook permanently and go on Instagram, but I just found out that Facebook owns Instagram. So you see,
And WhatsApp.
I'm speaking, there is a monopoly here. We do not have freedom of choice. When one person can monopolize and take over all these social medias, we have lost our voice, we have lost our opinions, and we have lost our argument. You are not going to get anywhere. This is what communism is. In Russia, there is only one thing, and that is government, and everything is government controlled. You are government controlled. America now is starting to become government controlled. Wake up, smell it, look at it, see it, folks. We're in trouble. They're taking away our rights in every way. We've got to do something about this and stop this socialistic thinking. Socialism is a kind word for communism. I know both my parents were socialists who fought for unemployment, social security, all the benefits that you have today during the Great Depression of 1920s. So I grew up in a socialistic house. I am the furthest thing away from socialism, because socialism does not give you the choice to be who you are, and I want to be who I am, a gay man that's proud. But communism will take that away, because in Russia, there's no such thing as an out proud gay person, or in Cuba, or any of the Russian countries, or communist China. We have got to be careful, folks. Facebook is no good. It's a detriment. I hate it. I dislike it. And I never use the word hate, but I really dislike that publication, and I will never be on it again. They will lose, because I have 5,000 followers who loved what I wrote and what I say, because I'm honest and outright. And more people like me should leave Facebook. We should destroy them. It's up to us to get rid of them or get them to change. They have no right whatsoever, and I don't care what they say, to tell us what we can say and what we cannot say. It is a publication, which means we can make our thoughts
Platform.
public. It's a platform. There you go. Facebook, fuck you.
Anyway, so what's up, everybody? If you want to kind of like get an idea, watch the movie with Roddy Piper, They Live, I say, because I've seen a lot of memes lately about it, and it's kind of like seems how the world is going. But you know, people have to make their own decisions and choices. So
And if you don't like what I said, you don't have to be my friend. You don't have to like me. Because if you hate me or dislike me for my opinion, you're a fucking moron. And guess what? I don't want to know you either. Okay? I like intelligent people. Intelligent people will say, Ron, I heard what you said. I disagree, but I think you're a great guy. That's an intelligent person. But only a moron, idiot, low-life, low-class jerk is going to say, oh, fuck Ron Russell. He's a Republican. I'm not a Republican, folks. I'm not a Democrat.
you're an American.
I'm an American. And I want what's best for America, whether it be a Democratic Party or a Republican Party. I don't care. If they come from outer space, alien from Mars could be our government. as long as they make America the wonderful place to live in that it has been in my 81 years of life here. Enough. Now we're going to have a fun show.
All right. So what's up, chat room? B. Claudia has joined us. Thanks for joining us, B. Claudia. Eileen is in there, and a lot of people came on. They all say they love you, Ron.
No, but it's true. I'm fed up with this bullshit where they're telling us what to do.
Okay, but you just
Wear
said we
a
were gonna
mask.
stop
You
that
can't
now.
get
Let's have fun
no.
now.
You can't get on an airplane unless you show the code that you were vaccinated. Forcing people to get a
Actually,
vaccination.
the new thing now, I just saw you guys in Hollywood, a new thing, because there was a premiere that somebody was invited to, but the only way you can go to it is to show your vaccination card, and you have to have a current COVID test within the last 48 hours. Both. You have to have both of them now instead of just one, which is kind of creepy.
It's a flu. Flus kill people. They've been doing that forever. Out of the zillions of people on the planet, a few million have died from a flu, but that's normal. It's not like everybody on the planet is dying like flies. We don't go in Manhattan and see people laying dead on the road. It's not like every place you look, there's dead bodies. It's the people that have weakened immune system, who are old and who are sick, who catch this virus and die. So inoculate yourself. Yes, I have. And I'm going to get a booster shot, and it works. We're all healthy. But stop the nonsense. Stop the control, government. Don't control us. Wear a mask. Don't go here. Show proof of that. Don't fly. Don't walk. Don't eat. Don't shit. Don't pee. What the fuck are you all out of your minds? I refuse to live in a communist country. Refuse.
Okay, now we're going to go to a different topic.
I'm just so angry. But
I know
I
you
warned
are.
you all. I said I was on the warpath. And somebody's got to speak up. And all of you Republicans out there that are so scaredy cats, you're hiding. Oh, I don't want anybody to know I'm a Republican because then they won't like me. Well, too bad if they won't like you. Too bad. Oh, I sounded like Jane Russell. I sounded like Jane, my buddy Jane Russell. When we used to argue, she used to say.
So we want to give a shout out.
Too bad. That's what Jane used to say.
We want to give a shout out to Angela Joseph. She's not in our chat room, but she's watching, and so we need to say so.
Hey, Ange.
And and Teresa Sabin wrote that the Chicago police are standing behind the officers for not taking a shot, and so is the sheriff here. He's not making the officers.
People have a right to choose what they want. It's not like if you don't get the listen, I have many friends that are Republicans or whatever they are, and I love them. And I have friends that have not had the shot, and they're not sick, and they're not spreading it.
Verify. You have a lot of friends who have gotten it too.
I just feel that freedom is what America was based on, and I love the fact that we were a free nation. All my life growing up, I used to look at other countries and say how sad. Oh my God, they've got dictators or they've got control, government control.
All right, so we're gonna go move forward because we got to bring on our first guest. So everybody, we really do have a fun show for you today. Ron's done ranting. Now we're gonna have a good time.
Well, only because I have to voice my opinion. I want people out there to say to Facebook, stop the crap, because Facebook was indicted already for this very issue of not allowing people freedom of speech in America. So what did they do? They went and changed their name and they opened up under a different company. See what snaky little bastards you are, you little fucking runts.
All right, ready?
Ready.
All right, everybody. So now we're going to bring on our very first guest. I'm super excited to have him on. I've been talking with him a lot lately, him and his fabulous wife. We met them through the Wise Guys, which are guys that we love to death, and through their radio show and going to an event in New York when we were there for September 11th. So go ahead, Roxy. Let's bring on Al.
Hello there, guys.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, we hear you really well. Nice backdrop.
Thank you. You like that?
Yeah, I like that. All right, so hold on. Let us get a good introduction for you. All right, you guys. Now we want to welcome incredibly super cool and talented actor, voiceover actor, model, a producer. He basically does everything, and he's like a world-renowned radio host. Al Bandiero, hello, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Ron. I hope you guys are doing well. You're out in California, correct?
Yes, we're in Palm Springs.
Yes,
Nice and warm Palm Springs.
Is it
Yes.
cold now where you are?
Yeah, we're in the 50s here in New York, so we're getting the itch.
I
to go
wish I
somewhere
were in New
warm.
York in the 50s. I got news for you.
In
I
the
got
50s.
big news for you. I wouldn't mind being New York in the teens either right now. I got news for you. Alfonso, my paisano, how are you?
Oh, very good. You know what? I might trade with you. You can come to New York, and I'll go to Palm Springs to be in the sun, in the warmth.
Yeah, I'm bored to death out here. Everybody, they're all leisure lizards out here. Boring.
Yeah,
It's a boring place to live. New York, you go out of your apartment, you're in the street, you're in the
exactly.
world. The
Yep.
world is there, passing you
Yep,
by, hitting you,
absolutely true.
and the homeless are peeing on you. It's wonderful. I love it.
But you don't get
So-
charged for that.
Yeah. So we have a chat room filled with people. Please say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hello, everybody in the chat room.
There you go. I don't know exactly all the countries that are represented, but there's a bunch of them and people are still coming in. So it's all really,
Al,
really
you
good.
do voiceovers, right?
Yes.
Because you got a great voice. Let me tell you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Very, very good barrel sound. I call it barrel sound. Good sound.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'll do a little bragging for Al, you
Oh, wait a minute,
guys.
You're also a radio co-host.
I used to be for a long time
DJ.
in New York, and then left to start a film production company.
Okay.
You guys, he had a huge career in New York radio. I wrote all this stuff
Oh,
down,
see?
so I'm going to use it.
I wasn't wrong.
KTU, PLJ, Hot 97, Jammin' 105, the new KTU. He had several national syndicated shows from 1992 to 2010. He did a voiceovers for many national TV commercials, car companies, shampoos, soft drinks, etc. And he's hosted many national TV shows. So he's got the voice. Give us like a good voice thing, so everybody
is a
can
good
hear.
vo-
I know, but he's got to have like some kind of like let's get ready to rumble kind of like a thing that he's got.
It depends on what your client is. You know, some of them just like that very whispery type of stuff.
No, let's say
some-
let's say I'm the client, and the script is Ron Russell is the most wonderful, handsomest man in the world. Let's say you
That's
say
extra
that.
money, though, Ron. If you go on, that's extra money. So we got to negotiate the fee first. But generally, with voiceovers, it's
Well,
what is the
now
product
I'm
that
gonna
you
now,
want.
now I'm not.
Wait, you just
Wait, now I'm not going to say that how handsome you are. I'm not paying you the compliment. So you just lost the compliment. You're good
No,
looking.
no,
It's
no.
not-
That's okay. We'll meet in the middle somewhere. Just keep
Listen,
it coming. I
us
appreciate that.
Italians are all Italians are beautiful looking people. You got to
Exactly.
admit.
Beautiful people. Yeah.
And beautiful looking. Italians are one of the best looking races on the planet.
That's what I've been. That's what I'm hearing for a long time. So that's
Well, it's true.
kinda
It's
cool.
true. It's
Yeah.
true. Why do you think all the frustrated old women go to Italy to get laid? Because the men are so gorgeous. Oh, they're all there
Look
in
how
Italy.
pretty his teeth are
He's
too.
a good,
You
he's
got-
Italian. He's Italian. Everything is gorgeous about him. I bet everything too.
and every time he sends me a message, he's just coming back
Well,
from
I'm
the gym.
Italian.
You guys,
I'm Italian, so I know about that.
Yep. Yep.
you guys
yeah.
every time Al texts me, he's always like coming back from the gym. So
Yeah,
like
and
he doesn't look like that. I mean, he works to look like that.
And Italian men don't get shortchanged.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, the word in the neighborhood was Brajol goes more than one way, so to speak. And Italian, we Italian men are gifted with Brajols, I guess.
Or
So
play hide the salami.
yeah,
So you guys, you can follow Al on Instagram. He's Real Al Bandiro, and it's
Bandero.
Bandiero.
Bandero.
Well, he says Bandiro. How do you say it,
yeah.
Al?
Diro,
Bandiro.
Bandiro.
In America, in
Mhm,
Italian, it's
exactly.
Exactly. Alfonso Bandero.
Yeah,
Is it really Alfonso? Is that what Al's short
yeah,
for?
yeah. So we went as
course.
short as we possibly could with Al. That's fine. That'll
Well,
work.
my real name is not Ron; it's
Right.
Rolando.
Yeah. Oh, but that's nice, man. That's a nice little sound there.
Yeah, but no,
Oh, in the chat room, they're also talking about how very handsome you are.
he's good looking. Of course he is. Now listen, you're married.
Oh, fabulous wife.
The fabulous wife,
I
Marlene.
heard. Is she here? Can I see her?
Yeah, come on and see.
Marlene, come
Let
in.
me see the
She
fabulous
doesn't have
wife.
any makeup on. Come on, I don't have any makeup on. What the hell? Let's
That's
go.
okay,
Just-
Marlene. We love
Come on
you.
in,
Everybody
say
will love
hi.
you.
This
Come
is
on
my
in.
wonderful wife, Marlene.
like she needs makeup. I'm gonna vomit. I mean, you are so fucking beautiful, and you need makeup. What are you crazy?
Well, you know, all women always a little bit of makeup.
Oh my God, the two of you have
no,
such beautiful
no.
teeth. It's unbelievable.
They look like you look like a Ipana commercial. Remember Ipana toothpaste? Anybody?
Oh
No.
Yeah.
Remember years
Hey,
ago,
see if you can get a deal for us. We'll go in together.
Yeah.
We'll make a deal.
Well, I don't want to talk to you, Al, anymore. I want you have anyway. You got good taste picking up
Thank
Al.
you.
How'd you get Al?
How'd I get him?
Yeah.
I found him at a bus stop.
That's true.
Really? Really? You were standing? Oh, really?
Yep.
And he
yep.
came by in a car and picked
No,
you up?
actually, he was standing there, and I got off. My mom dropped me off. I was going into the city for an interview. He was standing there, and I was like, you know, checking him out because he is good looking.
He's
Yes.
cute. He is cute.
And
And then you checked out the brajol and you said, yeah, this is for me.
I didn't know yet, but you know. And,
Yet.
and
Yeah.
nothing
She's
really-
adorable. I love her.
Thank you. Yeah, she's great.
And eventually we started talking, and he asked me for brunch. I think it was brunch, right?
Yeah, I see. I had a thing about instead of going to dinner, because we all know the horrors sometimes of dinner, that 5 minutes into a dinner, this is not going to work.
You want
So
to
I
kill
always
yourself.
felt safe by going to lunch, because
Right.
lunch will end and you'll leave. But I needed a fireplace in my home, a mantle. So I wanted to try and kill two birds with one stone. So I said, I'll take her to lunch, and then I'm going to take her to look at mantles to see her taste.
Hmm.
Because if the taste wasn't, this is the true story. If the
Well,
taste
you're a
wasn't-
tough one. You're a tough
Yeah.
guy.
If it wasn't what I like, then it would be a lunch, and
Didn't even go that far. He wouldn't even let me upstairs until I passed the question test.
that's true.
I kid you not.
You know what?
Wait, what's the question test?
Go tell him.
So the question test to come into my house was in New York, as you guys know, you have the Yankees and you have the Mets. Both fans hate each other, but
Right.
they still go out to dinner. They still party. Just because I don't like your team, all of a sudden we don't talk to each other anymore. I don't know what it's all about. But anyway, that's another time for another day. So I said, Yankees, Mets. And she said, Yankees. I said, okay, good so far. Jets or Giants? And she said, Giants. I said, okay, you can come up. I brought her up. And,
You know, I
yeah,
want to
because if it was a Mets fan, I have no interest. It wouldn't.
I would not be sitting here if I said the Red Sox either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Red Sox, I would have driven her home.
Now, listen
That
up,
was the
guys.
deal.
I want to quote my best buddy, Jane Russell, who I always quote because I promised I'd keep her name alive forever. And Jane Russell, you know what she would say now if she was seated next to me? She'd say to you, Al, you should be so lucky.
And I am.
That was
I am.
Jane's favorite saying all the time. Meanwhile, she's beautiful. You cook?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You cook too?
Yeah.
You look like
and
that. You
speaks,
cook?
and speaks Italian, French, lived in Italy, lived in France, obviously is Cuban. So we run the gamut.
Wow.
And she's also a phenomenal writer, you
Now,
guys.
wait,
Wait till you
wait,
see some of the
is
stuff
are
she's
you,
writing.
Are you an actress? Do you act?
I did for a while when we were in LA. I was mostly a commercial actress. I speak Spanish, so I would do Spanish commercials and English
Right.
commercials.
Se lava
I-
la dentes con gleam.
¿Cómo?
Remember that commercial years ago? Se lava la dentes con gleam.
Con gre-
Con gleam toothpaste.
And she's a wonderful writer. So she writes both films and TV. So
Well, you guys are lucky. Do you have kids?
no.
Oh, well, that's the choice of today. Not too many people want kids to bring them into this crappy country and this world that we live in
Yeah.
with all these maniacs. So it's not a bad decision. You guys have a career
Mhm.
and you have each other. You don't really need.
Yeah.
I have two children, and my wife took a powder years ago because she didn't want to be married, left me with my kids, and I raised my kids. So you know what? You could live without kids. You could live without a wife. You could live without anybody. If
But
you're-
we have a ton of nieces and nephews,
Oh, yeah.
and
So
so
there you go.
yeah. So
So
we're
you
good.
get to have
you
you
got
get
the
to have them
you got the
around.
kid thing all around you.
Yeah.
So you both love live. I miss New York so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I
New
miss
York
it.
is changing
Yeah.
rapidly.
To
The
what?
electricity will always be, but I think that a lot of the quality of life in New York's from the past is not there as much as it used to be. But that could probably be said for everywhere.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is said for everywhere.
Yeah,
Because
but in New York, there was a hipness, there was sort of a slickness, back in the day, so to speak. That's not really there anymore. There's if you were a New Yorker back in the day, there was just this hipness about you. It's different now.
They tried to clean up the city so much. I think they've cleaned it up too much. Now it's just like a very large metropolitan,
like Disney
international
World.
city.
It's sort of that.
well, what's really happened, I go to New York often. When I'm in New York, I find there are no New Yorkers. When I speak,
Exactly.
no, they hire me for movies now. I swear to you, I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. I do all these movies where I play a gangster. They say because you've got an original antique New York accent that nobody
Right.
can duplicate. They
Right.
try in movies like Nicole Kidman tried to do a New York accent. Oh my God, I watched it and I almost died. I said, oh, who the hell was her voice coach?
Coach, yeah.
So I am an antique. I'm 81 years old. So I'm an antique Brooklynite New Yorker who's lived all my life in New York City, raised my kids there. I love New York. There's nothing like it. LA is tinsel and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we lived in LA. Marlene and I lived in LA for 14 years. So
So you know.
we know. And the one thing that we noticed about moving to LA from New York was for some reason you meet someone and you gravitate towards them or they gravitate towards you and you're hitting it off. And it's later in the conversation that you understand and feel that, oh, you're also from New York, but you didn't know that up front. It was just this air. It was just the way that they are versus people in that city. And I found that when we were there, constantly you just met somebody else. And in the conversation, they told you, oh, I'm also from New York, or I'm from Brooklyn or the Bronx. And you hit it off as opposed to other people come from other cities that are quite different.
Yes,
I'll leave it at that.
Pisses me off when people out here say, oh, I was in New York and everyone is so unfriendly. That's bullshit.
That's not true.
That's
not
bullshit.
true.
I
Yeah,
go
that's
to New
bullshit.
York. Jimmy will tell you, when we were in New York a couple of months ago, I was talking to everybody in the street.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
talk to, I'm like a friggin' lunatic. I walk
Yeah.
around like years ago. Years ago, if you came from the neighborhood, you knew everybody on the block. Everybody knew you.
Yeah.
Everybody was a friend. We'd sit outside in the hot August nights on lawn chairs,
Yep.
eating ice
Yeah.
cream, talking. It was wonderful. Here in Palm Springs, we were in cars. Nobody's friendly here. They're all drunk. No, seriously. Palm Springs is the alcoholic capital of the world. I have never met so many drunken people as here. We go to parties and they can barely stand half the time. And then the next night they're doing the same thing over again.
Well, why do you think that is? Do you think that because there's not
they
enough
never
to do?
No. Palm Springs attracted all the people who were once, who never were, and for who wanted to be. It's a very
okay.
sad town of people, a mixed bag of people. There are people here who live like they have means, but they don't. There are
Wow.
people here who live like they were once a star and they never were. And there are people here who were once stars and now are ignored.
Well,
So
come
it's
come to visit us in New York, and we'll come out to visit you there. I mean, when
Oh,
we were
come
there,
visit us.
we
The
were
weather
there
is
not-
great.
We were there a few years ago, and I got we went just for the hell of it. We went through the Frank Sinatra hangouts. We went by Twin Palms. Obviously, that was his first home, and we actually got in through somebody that we knew, and I believe they were renting it for whether it's a night, 2 nights a week, whatever it was.
Weddings and stuff.
Yeah, and we walked through it, and there was that cool factor. The way the property was set up, we went a lot to the older bars, and you can see that that's no longer.
No more.
They're on the way out.
No,
yeah.
no, they're gone. They're gone. They just got rid of one of the best restaurants here. It was a restaurant that Frank Sinatra used to hire for an evening just to have Ava Gardner and all his friends, Sammy and all the gang, eat there and party. And I forgot what it's called, but it's down the road and now it's closing.
It's
There
gone.
are, and even the Riviera Hotel, which was wonderful. It was very 1950s. Marilyn Monroe, Sammy, Frank, Dean, all of them were hanging out there. Now it's gone. They redid it and took down all the old, beautiful mid-century stuff, and they made it out to
And
be
now it's called Margaritaville.
Margaritaville.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Okay.
Just wrecked it.
Palm Springs has lost all of its old Hollywood.
Charm.
We go to homes yet, like we know a lot of the old movie stars because of me. They were my friends from when we were all young. So we go to a lot of homes here that were the original homes. But even my old movie stars are broke, and they're selling their homes, and people are coming in and knocking them down and putting up these ugly cubes.
The architecture. We watch a lot of stuff that's shot out of Palm Springs, through the Travel Channel and things like that. And the mid-century homes that they go in and they redo are absolutely beautiful, just with the mountains, the backdrops. And then you see famous homes that were owned by well-known people just left to rot, which is such a shame.
Well, not left to rot. It's just that there's, people think Palm Springs, oh my God, Jimmy and I, first of all, the publications say that Jimmy and I earn 10 million a year. I love that one. Do they say that about you too?
It's really 15 million though, isn't it?
No, I love that we earn 10 million. I mean, that cracks me up like you can't believe. We should only earn a $500,000. But so a lot of the people that live here, people think we're rich because, wow, you guys, you own a home in Palm Springs.
Yeah,
we do. And wow, it's all rich people there. No, it's not true.
Yeah.
There are areas, there are people who are, here we go. Let's name drop. Goldie Hawn and Russell live up the road. Kurt Russell live up the road from us, and above them is Barbara Streisand. The next to that is Barry Manilow, George Hamilton, Suzanne Summers. That's about it.
And Michael Douglas's dad lived across the street from Kurt Russell, but
so we live in a very posh neighborhood that used to be. Only because Jimmy and I live in a very charming
little house.
It's a 2,200 square foot house, but it's very hacienda looking.
Oh, that's our favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, it's the old California, which I like. I'm not a Cubist.
So hey, let's brag a little for Al. So you guys, Al and his wife were in LA, and when Al was in there, he starred on a show called Desire. It was on Fox. It was a TV series. He was on 74 episodes. Was that like a nighttime soap opera, kind of like Dynasty or something? Oh, is he frozen?
Oh wow.
Hey Al, are you frozen?
Yeah, he froze.
Hey Roxy, is Al frozen? Can we fix him? Oh wait, he just sent me a message. Hold on. Blackout. Okay, hold on. Come back.
Oh, it's a good interview too. They're nice people. I like them a lot. She's really quite beautiful.
Yes, she is. Her name's Marlene.
Cuban women are beautiful women. The Latin is a beautiful race of people, Latin people.
And she's
it's all that darkness and the good skin and the beautiful hair. Latin people have wonderful hair.
Yes, Don. George Hamilton lives down the street. About probably like a half a mile or a mile away or something, pretty close.
I'd say about 2 miles.
Okay, so bring him back in when he comes in, Roxy. So everybody, we're talking right now to Al Bandiro. His Instagram is at Real Al Bandiro. He's like a lot of fun. He's a huge New York DJ. Everybody in New York knows him. So he's super, super fun.
And getting back to Palm Springs is not what it used to be. Al said New York City's not what it used to be. And most certainly Los Angeles is not the Los Angeles I remember back in 1950 when I was here as a little 10-year-old boy. I mean, Hollywood was absolutely immaculate and beautiful. Hollywood Boulevard had all the greatest stores my mother went there to buy her hats and her gloves because women wore hats and gloves in those days. And men's stores were beautiful, and Hollywood Boulevard was so elegant with great restaurants on it. Then the movie stars of those days, Betty Davis, Marlena Dietrich, Gregory Peck, those people would frequent Hollywood Boulevard.
You guys, so when he said too, so Al's sending me text messages. When he says blackout, he means there's like a blackout where he lives. There's no electric. So he's working on trying to get it back out, but he said the electric has cut out. I don't know if they're having bad weather or what.
Well, it's not summer, so it can't be from air conditioning.
Yes, it can't be from air conditioning. So maybe we'll play a little music video while we're waiting for him to get back on. What do you think?
I don't know. We could chat.
We can chat. Okay. What do you want to? Well, you guys. So Rocky IV. Rocky IV is the most popular and most financially successful of all the Rocky movies in the franchise. That's where Rocky fights Ivan Drago, and they're releasing a director's cut of Rocky 4. It's going to get released. I think it's next week. It comes out. Actually, I'm not sure exactly the date, but it's the director's cut of the movie. Al Bandero is the actual announcer next to the ring when Rocky fights Drago. It was his very first film. He was handpicked by Sylvester Stallone to be in this role, and it's like a really big deal in the fact that his very first movie, is getting re-released because it was the most successful in the franchise. It's a director's cut, so it's 20 minutes longer. I can't wait to see it because I freaking love all the Rocky movies, and I think they're a lot of fun. So we're gonna talk about that. Hopefully he'll get back on.
I hope so. I wonder what the blackout was.
He just says the electric cut out. So
Wow.
maybe we'll play the trailer for it. You want? Oh wait, he's back.
Here he is, he's back. We missed you.
Thank you.
So you
We
had a
just had
blackout. Listen,
a little,
you got
a little bit of a blackout, brownout, and we
Well,
just tried to get back
you
on.
got
Sorry
you,
about
you
that, guys.
gotta pay the electric bill.
I know. I keep telling her that. I said you can't
Yeah,
just
you
let it
know.
happen.
She only spends money at the beauty parlor but never pays the electric bill.
I know.
Where'd she
So
go?
he-
Hey Marlena, get back in here.
So wait, Al, so what I did while you were gone,
Look at that beautiful head of hair. Cuban hair. Cubans have gorgeous eyebrows and hair. You notice that?
Here.
Yes,
Everyone-
Cuban women. Cuban
Yep.
women have the most beautiful eyebrows and beautiful hair.
so hold on, let's go back.
I
So
have
here,
many Cuban friends in New York. Many,
so
many.
so Al, what I did while we were in our blackout, I told everybody that you are in Rocky 4, and that Rocky 4
Yeah.
is the most financially successful of all the Rocky films. It was your first film. You were handpicked by Sylvester Stallone to play the announcer, the ring announcer. I don't know, what do you call it? Is that what you call it, a ring announcer?
The ring commentator. So we call
Ring
the fight.
commentator. Okay,
Right.
so you call the fight. Rocky 4 now is coming out with the
Well, wait a minute.
director's.
Sylvester Stallone is still boxing?
This is Rocky 4.
Is it Sylvester boxing or is he playing a manager?
No, and so Rocky 4 is like 20 years old. It was
Oh, I
boxing.
thought it was a new film.
No,
you
no,
said.
no, 20
no,
years
no,
ago.
no.
They're re-releasing it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get that.
So they're re-releasing Rocky 4. When is the director's cut coming out, Al?
November 11th. You can go to phantom.com and hit in your zip code, and it'll tell you all the theaters that are playing it. So here's the thing that's a little unusual. You got room? Come on in here,
Yeah,
baby.
move over. Marlena's half in.
Here's the thing that's
I
a
like
little unusual.
Marlena. I like Marlena better.
So
Okay,
with
let's
this company,
More romantic.
so this company Phantom goes and gets these classic movies. It could be Dracula, it could be Frankenstein, and they release it in the theater after they clean it up. It looks beautiful for one day only, at the same time all over the country, and then another week it'll be all over England. So what they did was go in, they cleaned it up. The sound, I'm told, is unbelievable with today's technology. The coloring is now unbelievable. And what he did was add 40 minutes to the film by elongating some scenes, shortening others that he didn't like in back in the day when he did it, to just give it a different feel. I believe the feel today is a little bit deeper. Besides the death of Apollo, he has a certain talk with his son about why people must do certain things in your life. If you believe in what you want to do, then go do it. So it's a little bit of a deeper feel to it. And the great thing about it is it's 120% in ticket sales above the closest competitor.
Wow.
There you go.
That's what counts.
Which I freaking
You know,
love.
I knew Burt Young very well
Yeah.
years ago.
Great
Burt Young, his real name is Dickie Maurier, and he used to be a fence. He used to sell stolen stuff from his apartment. He lived in Jackson. He lived in Corona, Queens, on 99th Street, and I bought a stereo from him that was a bar stereo combination.
Was it
And-
warm or was it okay?
No, it was hot. It fell off a truck. And my very good friend Arlene's sister Linda lived in that building. So Dickie used to pay her money to put all the hot goods in her apartment to store it because he had all kinds of stuff. So I mean,
This is before he's a famous star.
my Arlene and I came down from Cape Cod. We went to Dickie and Gloria Benicetti's wedding at the Astoria Manor in Astoria, Queens. And they wouldn't let us in. It was 11 o'clock at night, and they wouldn't let Arlene and I in. And Arlene's sister was maid of honor and we wanted to see the gang. So a fight broke out, and I picked up one of the big chrome ashtrays with sand in it, threw it through a window, and we were beating people up. And the bridal party came out, and they were smacking everybody around, and Dickie was punching people. It was a whole big mess at Dickie's
Yeah,
wedding.
we had to listen to those stories. We had great memories. That was my, as Jimmy was saying before, that was my first film. And the first time you walk onto a set, you're quite nervous. And now you're going into an established, big time movie set with people like Sly and people like Bert and people like Talia. But what I took away from that was each of them took this, at that time, this kid under their wings and would go out to dinner and say, okay, this is what you have to look for. Pardon me. This is what you have to do. You're going to make it through it. And they didn't have to do that. They could have said, hey, sink or swim on your own. And they just individually would go out, spend the time with me. So when we finally got to shoot the scene, I was pretty relaxed. I wasn't as nervous as I had been prior to them taking me under their wing and saying, they just guided me. And that's the biggest takeaway that from that experience as my first movie.
And you know what? Not because I'm his wife, but he was good. I mean, he was really good. He's a natural actor. When you told me that was his first movie, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow.
So I watched Rocky IV. Hang on, I watched Rocky IV, the old version. I watched it on Thursday just because I knew you were coming on, and I love the Rocky movies and I love the Creed movies, and so I watched it, and it was really good, and you're really good in it, and I can't wait for the new version to come out. I thought it only had 20 more minutes. I didn't realize it was 40 more minutes.
Yeah.
So,
40,
so I think it's going to be an
that's
awesome
another movie.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
If you ever have the time between now and the 11th on YouTube, there's actually a documentary now of the making of the re-release. It's about an hour and a half long, and he takes you through the detail of what he did, what he took out, why he put certain things back in, going through the colorization and all of that. It's an interesting thing. And one of the pieces that we were watching in the middle of it, the camera pans to him and then pans over to the screen, and he's actually watching my scene.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So I was like, wow. So all of those wonderful memories came back. And, I've talked to other people about this. I could not pay to have that education and to have people of that level just be nice to me and explain things to me rather than, the egomaniacs that are somewhat a part of the business that don't really care. And,
somewhat.
like today, I make a lot of movies today, horror movies. Okay. I have yet to meet a director that gives me 2 seconds. I've yet to meet yet to go on a set where there's a mark for me to follow, an X on the floor.
Wow.
And I yet to see lighting, my key light or whatever. They don't do that anymore. Now you go on a set, they shoot you with a cell phone or something like it. And everybody reads lines. Nobody acts anymore. They read lines.
It was such an experience that the day before we were going to wrap, because our scene took 2 weeks to shoot in Vancouver, they took over. First, I was told it was a hockey rink, and then I was told it was a rodeo place, but it was about 4,000 people, extras in the stands, all dressed in Russian outfits. The entire place for that scene you literally look like you were walking into Russia. They did a wonderful job. So the day before we were going to finish the scene, one of the guys in charge of the clothing department said, hey, this is for you from Sly and from all of us. This is a little parting gift. So, well, what's this? And I opened it up, and it was the shorts that he wore in the scene. Wow. So that's up on the wall, with a post.
That is so cool because I love memorabilia. I collect memorabilia. I have I have a whole office full of it. And so I think that is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
To see this happen again on November 11th, I look at it differently now that, you remember when you were shooting it and what you went through and being nervous. And now you look back at it with all of today's technology. And from what I'm being told by the people that are involved, do everything you can for that one day to go see it in the theater, because the experience, do you have a picture of it? Yeah, bring it close.
There you go. Oh, that's
See the
fabulous.
shorts?
Yeah, I love it.
See the shorts?
Yes, I love it.
So,
Did you wash them before you mounted them?
Yeah, exactly. So they're telling people go see it in the theater. It's only going to be one showing, and then it'll go to I guess I don't know if it's streaming or where they're going to go with it, but you'll be able to see it in your home. But it won't be the same as that sound effect and the clarity that's in a movie theater.
So here's what I want you
I
to
can't
do.
stop looking at his wife.
I know,
And I'm gay. And I'm gay. What a compliment, right? When a gay guy admires a woman, it's such a great compliment because we're not trying to get in your pants like most straight guys are. But you're just a beautiful girl with a beautiful smile.
They both have beautiful teeth. So here's what I want you to do, Al.
Girl.
So Roxy, you're going to get ready to play it. So I want you, I actually have the director's cut. I downloaded it off of YouTube for the new Rocky 4. I'm pretty sure I got the right one because it said director's cut. So it must be. So I want you to introduce it. We're going to just play the trailer for everybody so they can see it. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Okay, so what you're about to see is the new trailer recut from the re-release of Rocky 4, filled with all of today's technology. Enjoy it.
Here you go, everybody.
Russia will now throw its hat into the ring.
I've seen this Drago fight.
Drago is a super athlete.
I know I can beat him.
Hey, Paolo, look, maybe the show is over. You got nothing more to prove.
He thinks he's fighting for the whole country, but his reasons are wrong.
I'm asking, as a friend, stand in my corner, just this one last time.
I did not come here to lose.
Perhaps this simple defeat will be a perfect example of how pathetic your society has become.
You're my friend. I should stop this fight. And don't do this to me.
Apollo is down.
I cannot be defeated.
Somebody get a doctor in here.
Soon, whole world will know my name. Drago. Drago.
I let it happen. I gotta take everything he's got.
He's had one professional fight and one man is dead.
It's suicide! You can't win!
There's gonna be a time when you're gonna have to do things that other people don't think are right, but they're gonna be right for you. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Has the fight been set yet?
It's in Russian.
Are you all your strength, all your power, all your love, everything you got.
You know what to do. Do it.
He's not a machine. He's a man. Be more man than him.
I must break you.
Rocky is in serious trouble.
Breathe. Don't be scared.
Get up, you son of a bitch.
All those fighters you beat them with heart!
Get up. Get up.
Get up.
Like, I am telling you, I got like goosebumps.
Wow. Wow.
Those punches, you could feel
Yeah.
it. Hear those punches, boom! What a sound effect! You're right. The sound.
Yeah,
is great.
they're saying that when you're in the theater on the 11th, it feels like you're in the ring with them taking the punch.
Yeah, that was scary.
So I want to say, number one, congratulations on getting the role in the first place, and
Thank
number
you.
two, what a like awesome thing that they're. I don't. How many years has it been now? Then
Well,
That's-
the original came out in 85.
Okay, so 15, 20, so 36
35
years
years.
later, 35 years
36
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations, 36 years later, they're bringing it back, and
Yeah,
you get to
but
live through it twice.
Jimmy, if it's good, it's ageless. You know.
Oh no, that's true.
That's true.
But the fact that they're putting all this promotion into it, I think it's
but
phenomenal.
It's an ageless
You know, and the
film.
fact also too, guys, that in money making of all of them, Rocky IV made more money than all of them, and it obviously has to do with America versus Russia, and that will never end. So I believe it'll always stay as the biggest money making Rocky film that there is, and you know, that ring commentator probably had a lot to do with bringing all that money.
That's right. You gotta love it.
That's what I say.
Just
all the
out of
time.
curiosity, did you like the Creed one where Apollo Creed's son fights Drago's son? Did you watch
Yeah,
that?
I thought it was like, well, where would you take it? And that's before I watched it as the opening credits. I said, where are they going to go with this? And then you go to another generation. The great thing about the Creed movies is that the younger generation that's watching that doesn't really know that much about the Rocky character.
Right.
So now they're rediscovering, wow,
Rocky.
these movies are really good. So I think that bringing Rocky IV out now, in addition to the Rocky fans that are out there, you're going to get the Creed fans out there to watch this thing again in the theaters. I think it's exciting.
We were at Madame Tussauds at a charity thing like 2 weeks ago, and I made sure to take picture with the Rocky statue.
I did. I saw that.
Just because I thought that would be a lot of fun.
Well,
So
it's like classic films of the 40s.
So
They're seen every day now and as new films. Betty
Right.
Davis's films hold up today just like they did back in
Yes, they do.
1941. And Rocky is going to be the same. Classics survive. They certainly do.
So you guys, you've seen some other things that Al's been in, The Practice, Dragnet, Mr. Sterling, Go For It, which I would actually like to see that just because I like those kind of movies. So I don't know if that's something I'm going to look for it on eBay and see if I can actually find it because I like it. But let's go to a hypothetical thing I like to do with actors. So you've gotten to do a pretty lot of stuff. You're getting ready to do a lot more stuff. If you could pick a male and female actor that you think, oh my God, I'd really like to work with these people if they were like on a bucket list, who would you like to work with? And number two, if you could have ever been in any movie in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Oh, man. Okay, so the last one first. I'll
Okay.
For me, and a lot of people in the industry, I would have loved to have been in The Godfather.
Okay.
I feel it is the greatest film that was ever made. Not because of the Italian thing. It's just how really good and how well made that film is. And there's other films that people go back and forth with. But for me, that would probably be.
But we all know. Wait, hang on. But we all know there's no such thing as the mafia.
That's very true.
Got to make that clear.
Okay, so keep going. So male and female.
I would probably say that if I had I worked with Sly, but I would love to work in a different capacity with him, with one-on-one. But if I had to pick someone, obviously after working with him, would be Al Pacino.
There you go. I like Al Pacino.
No,
Why?
just because of his history. Actresses, that's a tough one. Probably immediately off the top of my head, it would be Meryl Streep.
Everybody says Meryl Streep, and we're always like, okay,
Yeah.
that's okay.
She's such a scene stealer. Why would you want to
Yeah.
work with her?
But it's the challenge that you know that might happen, so you got to go toe to toe. So it brings your game up, is what I've always thought. The bigger the name and the bigger the person that maybe would seal a scene rather, then you got to go toe to toe and make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, also, Eileen Shapiro's in the chat room. She came to listen, but she's got to go. So just say hi to Eileen, you guys.
Hi, Eileen.
Oh, sorry, Eileen.
How are you?
There you go. Okay, so I think if I could do something with any actress, I'm a big Charlize Theron fan, so I would probably
Me
pick
too.
Charlize Theron.
No,
Yeah.
I would pick Angelina Jolie because I knew her as a kid. She was in
Oh
my,
yeah, she would be a good
she
one
was
too.
in my home all the time. My daughter Deirdre and she went to school together.
So Marlene, let's let you get involved. If you were going to get to make a commercial, or you were going to do something like give a male and female actor and actress, who would you like to be in a commercial or in a movie or in anything with?
You know what? I like Tom Hanks.
Okay.
He could do it all. He could do comedy and he can do drama, and he just seems like a genuinely nice guy who would be a giving actor and really help you with the scene and really give his all. So I'd say Tom Hanks.
And a female?
Females are tougher.
Female, I know whatever. I like Nicole Kidman. I think
Oh, I like Nicole Kidman.
I
She's a
think
good
she's
one.
a really good actress. Another woman, another actress that does a little bit of everything, and she does it really well. So yeah, but old actress like from back in the day. Oh, Betty Davis.
Yeah,
Who
Ron was
I
friends
knew.
with her.
I was
You
friends
did
with
not
Betty.
want to be in a scene with Betty Davis.
Yeah,
You know?
I was friends with Betty for a lot of years, and she's quite a character. Nothing like on film. In person, she cursed and drank and smoked like a sailor. She
I can
was
see that though. I
she
can
was
see
not the lady in person that she was on the screen. Trust me.
Oh,
She loved a dirty joke. She was full of fun. She was a wild woman. I knew her in her 70s and 80s, and she was wonderful.
Ron used to have a show many years ago called Set the Record Straight, and he
On TV.
And he interviewed Jane Russell was his first interview, but like he was friends with Elizabeth Taylor and Tippi Hedren.
But Jane Russell was
and,
my best friend. Jane
I
and I
worked
were
with
like
Tippi.
brother and sister.
I worked.
I love Tippi.
Oh, she worked with Tippi.
Yeah, I worked with Tippi on a. It was called Fashion House. I worked 2 episodes. I was her nurse.
Oh, there
when
you
she
go.
Wheeled into the ER, and I'm her ER nurse. And she's a very nice lady.
She's a darling. You kidding? Just sweetie pie. One of my favorite people is Tippi. Very, very nice lady.
So I have a question for you guys because we've only got like 5 minutes left. Are you want to like plug anything that you're working on? I don't know what we're allowed to say on certain things and not, so I don't want to bring
What's Marlena doing?
I am a writer. I'm a screenwriter, and I'm.
Well, what have you written? What have you written? Tell us about it. Not the plot, but what is it?
Jimmy read my script. He in fact read the script that we're all working on now.
Yeah, we're working on. We're co-owners of a production company that's called Because I Can Productions, and
I love that Because I Can.
Because I Can. We just try and think.
I love that. I love that. That's great.
So you guys, they've got a film. She wrote a script for a film. It's called Blue Betrayal. We're working on it behind the scenes right now at this moment. It's a phenomenal script. And
he tells me nothing.
I tell you, you just don't listen.
I listen. I do listen.
It's a phenomenal script.
You know what? He thinks he tells.
And it's hang on.
Wait, does Alfonso do that to you? He thinks he tells you something and he really doesn't.
When you've been married for a really long time, that's bound to happen.
Yeah, well, we're married 10 years. It's enough.
Deny. It works.
That's right, all the way around.
Look, Al, you're full of crap.
So you guys, it's a phenomenal movie. It's very good for kind of like the world today. You guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be actually a really big deal. And I don't know how much you guys want to tell about it, so I'm not going to say anything.
So it's just a story of the lead character feels just to do everything what is right, and not to screw people over, not to do things that are just wrong to do. And everybody around him, everybody just takes the easier route of being paid off, lying, and so on and so forth. And he goes against that. So he's, in essence, sort of a Rocky character that he just won't take the money. He won't lie. He's taken an oath, and he's dedicated to his children and his wife. And the attitude
sounds like me.
I don't want to do what you guys do. I don't want to be part of that. So in retaliation, they set him up. And the rest you'll see when we get it on the screen.
It's going to be fabulous. You guys are going to love it.
Sounds very good.
You're going to really. I also, your wife sent me little notes that says you have an extensive watch collection. I love watches.
I do too.
I love watches.
So how many watches do you have?
42.
Oh yeah, you have more. We probably have like 30 between the two of us.
We have, I think, 36. But I have an original Mickey Mouse. I have an original.
So does he.
Wait, mine is worth a lot of bucks. And I also have a Mighty Mouse, and I also have a Howdy. My Howdy Doody is worth more than all of them. My Howdy Doody is an original. I think it was sold for $3 when it was issued back in the 50s, and now
they all work.
Now it goes for a couple of thousand. It's really
they all work.
All my watches work. Yeah, I have on right now. Usually, one of the gals in our chat room asks which watch you're wearing.
Dawn
does every day, every week. I wear.
We love watches.
I love
watches. As you both know, watches are an example of your personality. It's what you feel like that day. And it's not just about telling time. It's it's just a little statement piece. It's a little crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And when you're a watch fan, you immediately shake someone's hand. I don't know if you both do this, but if you see a watch, you look at the watch immediately.
I always do. I do. I think watch freaks do. But I want a Flash Gordon. I don't know if they ever made one. I want the original Buster Crabbe. It's probably worth a fortune, but I don't know that they ever made them.
He's a big Flash Gordon
I love
fan.
Flash Gordon. That's my hero.
1 year for Christmas.
Anybody out there, if you have any information about a Flash Gordon wristwatch, contact me.
Yeah, we have all kinds. We have expensive watches and cheap watches, and colorful watches and big watches. We have them all.
Yeah, and the watch industry, as you well know, is huge. People, they walk around and that's how they tell time. But people that are really into watches, it's a huge industry.
I love it.
I have the original Gay Pride wristwatch from the first Gay Pride parade in New York City. I have that watch too. I've got so many crazy watches. I love them. And you know what? Every time I wear one, I look at it and I enjoy it all over again. Do you do the same thing?
Yeah.
It's like it's new. Like, wow, where'd this come from? I have diamond wristwatches.
For the people that think people like us are crazy.
It's a hobby.
I'll explain a feeling. When you're fully dressed and the last thing you put on is your watch, as most people do, there's something about the feel of the strap or the band that now completes your outfit.
It's the finish. Absolutely, Al.
Absolutely. I love it.
Totally agree with you. And if I don't have a wristwatch on, I feel naked. I go crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you guys, this is Al Bandiro and his fabulous wife, Marlene. You can follow Al on Real Al Bandiro on Instagram. It's RealAlBandiero. Make sure to see Rocky IV, the director's cut, coming out.
Yep.
When's it coming out again? November
11th. 1 day only.
1 day only. So go see it on the big screen.
Why is it only 1 day?
Because they
this is what this company does.
That's stupid.
I thought that too, but they do it 1 day and it simultaneously across the country. Then it goes to another country, but then it'll be on streaming afterwards.
What if I'm not available that day and I can't see it?
Then you'll have to wait till it streams, which I believe will be
It's the next day. It's the next day, according to somebody in our chat room.
When we come to New York, let's get together, guys. I'm serious.
Absolutely.
We're probably coming in December. And if you're out,
we'll have to eat in an Italian restaurant and then go watch shopping.
Yes.
So that's a perfect day for me.
Perfect day
Maybe
for me,
I could find my Flash Gordon watch. But you know what? I was very disappointed. We were in New York a couple of months ago. There are no more good restaurants in New York. We went down to the Italian Village part, and it's gone. You're right. New York has changed. It's lost its flavor. Too many outsiders.
Yeah, you got to know where to go. It's kind of word of mouth, but not where back in the day where you just went and there were 100 of them on a block.
And good ones too.
Yeah.
I lived on the Upper East Side, so I knew all the good restaurants. They're all gone. Everyone. I think only one that's left is the French one. What the hell is it called? Whatever.
Anyway, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go.
Al, Marlene, thank you so much.
All right, guys. It was nice talking with you.
Bye-bye. Let us know when you come to Palm Springs.
All right, everybody. So our next guest is
sweet couple.
Aren't they fabulous?
Very nice.
So you guys, our next guest is in the green room. We're going to play a quick video real quick.
I love making new friends.
Yes, Alan and Marlene are fabulous, and I love them to death. And we talk a lot, and I love the Rocky stuff, so it's fabulous. So you guys, our next guest is a superstar. She's in one of my all-time, as a clothing designer, favorite movies ever made in history. The name of the film was Clueless, and I want to play the trailer real quick before we bring her on so everybody can see it. And then we're going to bring on Elisa Donovan. So, Roxy, go ahead and let's play the Clueless trailer.
So, okay, like right now, for example, the Haitians need to come to America. But some people are all, what about the strain on our resources? And it's like, when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? People came that, like, did not RSVP. So I was, like, totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, squish in extra place settings, and, like, people were on mismatched chairs and all. But by the end of the day, it was like, the more, the merrier. And so, if the government could just get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party with the Haitians.
Wow. You guys talk like grown-ups.
Oh, well, this is a really good school.
Mr. Hall was way harsh. He gave me a C minus.
Well, he gave me a C, which drags down my entire average.
Hello? There was a stop sign?
I totally paused. You try driving in platforms.
Oh, should I write them a note?
Ew! Get off of me! As if.
Cher's got attitude about high school boys.
It's a personal choice every woman has got to make for themselves.
Cher's saving herself for Luke Perry.
Cher, you're a virgin? I mean, I'm not prude. I'm just highly selective. I mean, you see how picky I am about my shoes, and they only go on my feet.
Nice stems.
Thanks.
What the hell is that?
A dress.
Says who?
Calvin Klein.
What are you doing? Yo, you getting on the freeway! Get out of the
You go, girl.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Whatever. Did I miss something? Is Big Hair back?
Amber, my plastic surgeon doesn't want me doing any activity where balls fly at my nose.
Well, there goes your social life. I'm gonna be a supermodel.
Freaking like one of my all-time favorite movies, you guys. I'm super excited to bring on one of the stars of Clueless, who's done so many fabulous things and has a new book out that we're going to be talking about. Please welcome Elisa Donovan. Bring her in, Roxy. Hey!
Hi there. Hi, guys.
Hey. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and I'm super excited to have you on because I was a clothing designer back in the day, and I dressed a whole bunch of famous people, and that was like my go-to movie. So I know you've done tons of other things, but I had to bring that up to get it out of the way first. But let me introduce you to my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Hey, darling.
And our
Hi
dog.
there.
Now, I lived in Beverly Hills, and my one daughter went to Beverly Hills High, and the girls weren't like that.
I was going to say, were they like that?
No.
Well, I grew up on Long Island and went to public school in Northport, and I will definitely say people were not like that, but they were. I think they're all kind of representations of the dynamics between groups of people. You know, that's I think that doesn't change.
My youngest daughter grew up on Long Island. We lived in Setauket. She went to the 5 school district.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was called District 5 school, which is supposed to be the best. And I found them to be a lot more snobbier than when we lived in Beverly Hills. So it's where you go and who they are.
So we have a chat room filled with people, and there's a whole bunch of people in it. So I could just say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everybody in the chat room.
And then we have a couple people that are like really big fans. If you could say hi to Dawn, because she's like saying, "Oh my God, I love this so much, you have no idea." So Dawn is in California.
Hi, Dawn. I'm in California too.
And
I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, there you go. And B Claudia is in Germany. So say hi to B Claudia.
B Claudia?
Yeah, B Claudia.
B Claudia. Yeah. B Claudia. Let's all be Claudia.
That's right. Let's all be Claudia.
And I'm smiling because you're making me smile. I had a bad day with Facebook. They punished me for something stupid, and I was really angry in the beginning of the show. But you have such a up smile, a positive smile. You're making me grin and smile. You're a beautiful girl with a
That's
beautiful
my job.
with
That's
a beautiful smile. Look at that smile.
Thank you. Everybody has trouble with Facebook. Facebook's got some trouble.
They got to get rid of it or clean it up. They got to make it right.
So you guys, if you want to see Elisa not on Facebook, you can follow her on Instagram and you can follow her on Twitter. She's at Red Donovan, RED Donovan, DONOVAN.
I am on Facebook also, just so I might sound a little contradictory. I just don't really, I know there's
not as big a deal.
Trouble there. Not as
That's
big.
right. And you guys can go to her website. It's Elisa, ELISA -Donovan, DONOVAN.com, because you can find out everything about her there by going to the website. We're going to talk for a few minutes about some of the great things that she's been in.
Before that, I want to just say
Hang on.
something.
Let me just finish. We're going to talk. We're
No, no,
married, so that's why we fight
No,
a
he's
lot.
going to go into that whole big monologue.
No, not yet. No,
I
I'm
want to
not
just
yet.
say one thing. I bet the guys go crazy for you. I mean, look at that personality. You're so
No.
bubbly and smiley. You're
I don't
so-
know. I think my husband likes me.
Oh, your husband. Well, okay. We'll end that story.
He was gonna fix you up. He knows every good-looking single guy.
I will say I have had some boyfriends over the years prior to meeting my.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
Oh my
Beautiful.
gosh,
she's so pretty. I love her.
I know she is. So it's going to be funny because some of the things that you've actually done are some of my favorite things. I was a huge fan of Beverly Hills 90210 when you were on those.
Oh yes.
And I'm really good friends with Serena Vincent and Chad Lindbergh and Lou Temple, and you were in Monica. They've all been on our show.
Serena's one of my closest friends. I mean, she was one of my bridesmaids. She's
I love
she's
Serena.
like my sister. Yeah, I adore her.
My whole venture, that the way I started this show, I used to be a celebrity clothing designer, and I would go and go to those autograph signing conventions, and I would take racks of clothes, and then I would give them to any of the celebrities, if they would wear them, so I could have pictures of them in it. And so I used to hang out with Serena Vincent and Danielle Harris. I like horror movies, so I'm big into the horror movie thing.
Oh yes.
And so I would meet all of them, and they would all come on the show, and people would be like, "How did you get these huge stars to come on your show?" And that's how I initially did it before we built a name for ourselves.
Bribery.
But also because another film that you did, and this is a cheesy film, but it's called Shark Swarm, because I like horror movies.
Oh,
and we've had John Schneider on the show a bunch of times. I loved it.
I have phenomenal stories about Shark Swarm. First of all, I was almost entirely cut out of that movie. So, but then I started to get all these residual checks because of the other shark movies that became well known. But so I was cast in that movie, and I was supposed to be. They kind of rewrote the character a little bit for me because it was written a little bit too old for me. But then the way it worked out, I was supposed to be the same age as Daryl Hannah, and we were supposed to have gone to high school together. Like the whole storyline kind of didn't make any sense. And so then they wound up cutting it out. But I died with Armand Asante getting eaten by a shark, but I think they even cut me out of that part. So I don't know, but it was really
I have
fun
to watch it now
like-
because I actually own that movie. I actually own the DVD.
It was fun. It was super fun.
I like John Schneider. He's been on the show a couple of times, and he was really nice. Then you were in Clueless, which is the greatest thing ever. And then you were in Clueless, the TV series. And then I have to. So you guys, for anybody who doesn't know, she's Amber in Clueless. And actually, I think your character arc in Clueless is one of the best ones because of the attitude that you had in it. And I always loved your character the most because of the way you were in it. So and it's so cool that you're to have you here because I don't know. I don't ever get really starstruck, but I really do. It really is. I have 5 favorite movies, and that's one of them.
Well, the wardrobe, I have to say, as everyone, this will not come as a surprise to anyone. The wardrobe was so key in that film, in particular to my character. And Mona May and Lisa Evans, who was her assistant on that film, they were just phenomenal. And it was so much fun because every day I'd go in there and they were inventing something for me, and half the time I couldn't sit down in it or I couldn't, it was really a super creative and fun process.
Freaking loved it. So then you guys, she's also been in A Night at the Roxbury, Wolves of Wall Street. That's another one I like because that's the horror movie,
That was a good movie.
So no, that's not, you're thinking the Wolf of Wall Street. She's in Wolves of Wall Street, where the traders, they turn into werewolves, which I like.
The budgets were a little different.
A little bit different. And then I have to honestly say, I think I saw 2 episodes of Sabrina the Teenage Witch because I'm old, so I didn't watch that one, but I know you're hugely popular from it because I Googled you and everybody talks about you.
That was
all my prep.
Yeah, that was super, super fun.
Then you guys, some of the others. Oh, and also she's been in every dog saved movie on the planet. You guys, I actually watched the trailers for 10 of them today while I was taking notes. The Dog Who Saved Summer, Easter, the holidays, Christmas Vacation, Halloween, Christmas, and there's a bunch more, but I only wrote
also Christmas Vacation. So not only Christmas, also Christmas Vacation.
Yes, Christmas, and they look really cute. They look really cute. They're Hallmark movies, right?
Yes. So we originally were doing them for ABC Family, and Gary Valentine and I play a couple who we get this dog, adopt this dog who is afraid of being as a watchdog, but the dog's afraid. And then you get the dog's backstory, the dog talks, and it's a sweet family movies. And the best parts of those films, that some of them at the end, they show the outtakes. And Gary and I, it's like we would be crying. We would make each other laugh so hard. There are a couple of times where I think about Gary and I laugh. The two of us, we just have a really great chemistry. So they're super sweet family movies.
I think they're fun. And so, do you know Michael Damian? Because he does a lot of stuff for Hallmark.
Great. His name is very familiar. I feel
he was a singer who did Rock On, and he was a soap opera star, but then he started directing a bunch. He just had a Hallmark movie came out Saturday night, I think. He does like Christmas movies for Hallmark, and he also does High Strung, the movies High Strung and High Strung Free Dance. Anyway, because you're kind of like, he's older than you, so you might not actually like know him, but it was fun. Okay, so then I have a request, and you don't have to do it if you don't want, but I would like really love it if you were to do it. Could you just do the Clueless thing?
I know what you're going to ask me to do.
Do the whatever thing?
I'm going to do it super fast.
Okay, really super fast. Okay.
Whatever.
There you go. I'm going to clip that out and save it. I just freaking like love it. So you guys, she's done so many wonderful things, and in her life, she's had wonderful highs and wonderful lows. She wrote a book. It's available now. It's called Wake Me When You Leave. And I actually thought this was going to be like a biography, but it's really not, because I watched one of your interviews and it's not really a biography. So we're going to talk about that. But before we talk about it, I'm just going to read what I wrote down. You guys, love and encouragement via dreams from the other side. After someone dies, they never really leave us, and it's never too late to make peace. And I follow your bliss, and may nothing but a pack of wild horses keep you from it. So I listened to another interview you did, and I guess you had a very difficult time. Not Clueless. Sabrina the Teenage Witch got canceled. You had a breakup, and your father died of cancer, and then you wrote this book. So tell us a little bit about it, because I think that this is super amazing.
Yeah, so all these things happened in very close succession. So I went from having this life that I totally understood where I was going. I understood what I was doing and what I wanted and who I was, and then everything was just stripped away. And I was pretty devastated and had to go about kind of re-piecing my life together. But before, in that process, I had to rediscover what I really wanted to do. Do I want to live in LA? Do I want to be an actress? Do I want to, how do I want to go through life going forward? And it ultimately was this spiritual experience, which I was not intending to have. And my dad started to come to me in these dreams and these kind of otherworldly experiences that really helped me to heal and go through the grief process and to come out the other side. So really, I think my life looks so different today than it would have had I not gone through that. And the big message of the book for me is that, when we go through these challenges, we feel so isolated and we feel like we're alone and no one else gets it and no one's been through it. And I really hope that the book serves as a source of hope and comfort for people, and to really understand that our challenges in life can bring us the greatest gifts. It's really that simple. It's all a part of the human experience.
That sounds like a good book. And once you've been, as they say, once you've been touched by an angel, your life is never the same.
That's right.
That's an expression, by the way.
That's right.
Touched by an angel, not meaning it really. But so your father came to you. I have lost people in my life, and I have also had contact.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Jane Russell, the legend, the movie star, became my dearest friend because of the passing of my ex-partner. He told me one night to find her and to be her friend. And I found her, and we became instant friends for many years, like brother and sister. So there is something in the voices that you hear. Tell me about that. I would like to know more about that.
Yes.
You're hearing your dad. What
so the first time I had I talk about a couple of the dreams in the book, and I just felt so lost. I literally did not know what to do. I wasn't sleeping. I would go on auditions and not really care what I was doing. And I felt like, what is the point of all of this? And I had this experience of I couldn't sleep. I was home and I was just weeping, and I felt this presence tell me to go to bed, to go to sleep. And I walked over to my bed and I felt like a hand on my chest almost, and I went to sleep. And when I woke up in this kind of half-life place that I called it visiting hours in the afterlife, because there were other people that it felt to me were doing the same thing. People I didn't know, I didn't see their faces. We were all floating in these boats, and my dad just started to talk to me, and it was clear. His mouth didn't move. I could hear his voice, and it was very purely and clearly his voice. And I spoke to him in the same way. It's as though we were speaking with our minds, but we could hear our voices. And he actually told me in that first dream that he was sort of caught, that he didn't know how to move forward, that he felt so much in the afterlife that he didn't feel this much when he was alive. And, my dad was a really, he just was a really traditional guy, and a very conventional guy. And so we always were butting heads about things. He didn't really understand my creative life, even though he tried to be supportive, and there was this sense of him going, I understand everything now, and I understand you. And he was sort of asking for my help. And so that first one was very intense. And then subsequently, I've had other things where there was another dream that he came to me in later on. And it was like this acceptance thing of all the stuff that I thought was unfinished in life with him, in my relationship with him. Because it feels so final when someone dies. And my experience of this is that it isn't final. It's not over. And he gave me this sense of, he understood me, that he saw my whole life, and he saw everything that I'm doing, and that he's proud of me, and that he's there for me. And I get signs like that all the time. People often talk about it in nature. There's a hummingbird, for example, is my thing that always comes out with my dad. And music is a big one also. So, I can be in a play there. I could give you a million examples of this, where feeling like, oh gosh, I'm lost, or I'm scared, I'm nervous about something. And then a song will come on out of the blue that is, Ray Charles, which was one of my dad's favorites, So it's once we're open to these things, it feels really like an incredible sense of peace. And
God, I love a song for you when Ray Charles comes on.
I know what you're saying. You just sold 1 million books, by the way. No, because now you're very interesting. You skimmed over the book. I didn't get it. Now I want to read the book. I'm sure everybody else does, if you've explained the situation as you have on our show. Yes. Arlene Dahl, you don't know who she is. She's a famous movie star, friend of mine. She died 3 times. Once in Minnesota, her automobile went over and it crashed, and she was pronounced dead. And she said, death is only walking through one room to another. She said it's a very simple thing. And the next time was when she was giving birth to her son, Lorenzo Lamas, the actor. And she was near dead on that experience. And the same thing happened again.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she said, don't be afraid of death. She said, it's a very nice feeling. And it's like you walk from one room to another. It's so simple.
That's such a great, I've never heard it described that way. Walking from one room to another.
It's just walking from one room into another.
Yeah.
And that's how she said it twice. And then the third time. Yeah. And she knew that she was going to live old. She's about 90 something now, living in New York City. And Arlene is still, helping. And she was told that she wasn't ready. They said, no, you're not coming yet. You're going to live to be a very old lady. And she is living to be a very old woman.
So Ron had a show called Set the Record Straight. And he's like the Turner Classic Movies guy. He knows like all the actors from all those films because he's done different things. And Jane Russell was his best friend.
My best buddy.
And he looks really good, but he's 81. And
must you always bring that up?
I like to bring it up because look how good you look. And he's still working. I mean, he's still making movies, It
reminds me that I'm old and I forget it.
And
You
so,
look fantastic.
so he's
My
been
mom
around for a
still
long
says that
time.
she's 36. My mom is 82.
There
and
you
she looks
go.
God
Also
bless her
awesome.
too.
And she
God
still
bless her.
tells people, she's like, don't know, I'm 36. And I said, if you tell people you're 36, they are going to think you look bad. But if you tell them you're
Well,
82,
I'd rather look bad at 36 than good at 81. So, it's a choice. I'd rather. But no, I think everybody's going to get you a book because they want to hear about your
So
experience.
tell people too, though, how do they get your book?
so you can get it anywhere. I mean, anywhere you get books, Barnes and Noble, Goodreads, Amazon. The audiobook is available on Audible and all of those platforms.
Did you narrate your own audiobook?
I did. That was an incredible experience. That was really, really a special experience. I loved doing that so much.
I love that.
Difficult. I was at my very good friend Barbara Rosenblatt, who's the queen of audiobooks, by the way. She's won more awards than anyone else, and she did the Barbara Streisand book. I went to one of her recording sessions, and there she sat in this little booth, which was found proof and over again. How that was very clever how they did it. A lot of work, kids. It's not easy.
It's a lot of work. Yes.
Especially editing.
No, it's a lot of work for the voiceover person.
Yes, but the editing of it.
Because, Barbara does all the characters. She acted out all the characters.
But you got to be yourself.
Very
It's
tired.
exhausting.
Yes, very exhausting.
So now how much time took place between all the terrible stuff happening and you actually writing the book?
So I started to write the book maybe a year after all of this happened. And then, as an actress, when you when you tell your agents that you want to write a book and write a play, they start to fall asleep and say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
So
I know that well.
I kind of had to do it on my own. And then I wrote it as a version, a kind of shortened version as a one-woman show. And I did it at the Geffen Theater maybe 4 years after this happened. And then again, I wanted to tour the show. I wanted to do the play, and there just wasn't a lot of support for me. It was more, they wanted me to just go and do another TV show, which I would have been happy to do another TV show as well. But this really was I was passionate about. So then I started to write it again as a book and had a book agent. Then we were close to getting a deal, but we didn't. Then I met my husband, we got married, I got pregnant. So then I wrote it as a film, and now the film is in development as well right now. But I wound up getting the book deal first. So the process of writing it, was quite a long one, but with something so intimate and so personal, the in-between time really helped. It helps me to be able to write it in a more universal way.
Since you've written this book, have you felt anything from your father?
Yeah. Yes. So anytime I keep looking out the window because there's this big tree outside of my window here. And as soon as I started doing the press for the book, because in the pandemic, doing a book tour pretty much looks like this. Yes. I've been sitting in, in my home. I've done a couple of in-person things, but not that many. And every time I would start this, a hummingbird would come outside. And so I'm laughing because I one time said, oh, I know he's going to come out anytime. And my dad had a great sense of humor. And so now he's not showing up. And I know as soon as we end this chat, is going to show up.
Hi, Dad.
Show up. See
Exactly.
that? Actually, B. Claudia is in the chat. She's in Germany, and she said she just bought it off Audible, and that it sounds that you sound terrific. It has a wonderful cover.
Oh,
wait. Again, give us the title slowly for the old people. Well, we don't grab it so quick.
It's called Wake Me When You Leave.
Wake Me When You Leave, for folks. Sounds
and I love for
interesting.
people to let me know their thoughts and their feeling. That's been one of the greatest joys of this whole thing, is having people share their feelings about the book with me, and then also their own experiences. So please write to me on social media. I try to answer everything, and it really fills my heart when people have, something to say.
Not to sound like a dummy, which I am. When I'm flying to New York in December, can I read it on my computer?
Sure. You
How,
can get it on
wait,
Kindle.
how do you do that?
on Kindle.
Tell
Kindle.
us people who don't know how to do it how to do it.
Do you well, have you read do you read books generally on your
No,
computer?
I usually read. I like the smell of books, so I usually
Yeah,
buy them.
me too.
But
Me too.
I find it's too cumbersome carrying more crap. So I
Yeah.
will.
There we go. Look,
there's the cover.
good job, Roxy. Roxy's putting it up for
Very
everybody
pretty,
to see.
Very nice.
Yes, you
cover.
can download it. You can download I think
So-
Kindle works like that.
And
on Amazon,
how do we
you
pay
can
for
go
it? How do we pay for it?
On Kindle, on Amazon.
on Kindle. I think on Amazon you can do it that way through your if you don't have
A PayPal or a credit card or something?
oh yeah, it's all
Everybody knows how to
yeah.
do that part, Ron. Just you don't.
I don't know how to do
I know.
it.
Well, I do it for you.
I think Amazon might be the easiest if you want to, and it'll kind of lead you through the Kindle process. I don't think you need to have a different piece of equipment. I think you can just download it.
Yeah, I think you're right because I have a bunch of books
Because
on my
we have
phone.
a friend of ours that's written a book, which I'm going to read going to New York, and I'll probably read your book coming back to LA.
I would love it. You could also
Yeah.
listen to it if you don't want it. You can
No.
listen
I like to read.
He
It's
likes to
good
read.
exercise for your
So,
eyes.
B.
and brain.
Claudia, please follow at Red Donovan on Twitter and Instagram, and that way you can tell her what you think because she'll have it done. Like she's like really
Sounds
gets-
interesting. She's interesting, and it's as delightful as she is. It's going to be a uplifting book, a book that's going to make you. It's a
She
feel
says
good
you
book.
sound terrific in it.
It's a feel book,
Oh,
right?
thank you. I'm gonna find the link. She just asked me to put it in the chat.
Is it a feel good book?
Yeah, so it's also, anybody who's gone through this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Oh, she got it already. No, she put it in the main chat. She already did it. You
You
don't
got
have
it?
to look. She's got it. Yeah, it just popped
Okay.
up.
Sorry. I'm like
They said
"Ooh."
Audible is great. So I like love it.
So
you
it's also the book ultimately is very uplifting. It's it goes through challenging things and it's emotional and
It's a
people-
positive thinking book.
but it's yes, ultimately it is, and it's also very funny. So please allow yourself to laugh because some of it is some absurd things happen, and sometimes when everything goes wrong in your life, it's kind of like, whew, this is funny. How did this happen?
We certainly need to laugh nowadays with what's going on in the world. So we need a good laugh.
Mhm.
Get this book, folks. You won't regret it. It
you
sounds
guys, it's
good.
called Wake Me When You Leave. You don't want to miss it. So now you're there. You go. She put it up again. So you're married, and so is your family in entertainment? Like, did you marry someone in entertainment?
Not at all. My husband works in finance.
Oh, that's
and
good. Then you have money.
He generally feels like all of my, while the producers have been raising the funding for the film, independent films are really a labor of love, and it takes certain people
I'm
to
an
involve-
independent film producer. I've got like 11 projects. I'm like in different stages of development,
Right.
so I totally understand.
You understand. So he will sometimes, look at these things and say, I don't understand what are they trying to do? Like, why does it's just very funny. He doesn't understand kind of the whole process of
Yet he
the
understands
creative process.
financing.
He understood when, oh, okay, you got a book deal and they wrote you a check. He understood.
Yes, he understood
He was
that.
like, all right, it's real. Okay. Or I could buy it in the store. Okay, it's real, and my daughter's only 9. So I would not say she loves the guitar. She might be like a rocker or a
Oh, that's
scientist.
cool.
She's into science also.
We have a lot of rocker friends, so when she gets older, if you want her to talk to any of them, I can like hook her up because
Darling, by the time she gets older, the rocker friends we have will all be dead.
Oh no, they won't. Nah,
They're
nah.
old already.
In 10 years, they won't be dead though. Like I'm a publicist, and so like a lot of my
we
clients
have
are rock
friends.
stars.
We have friends like saxophone player from Pink Floyd. I mean,
Yeah, we have Guns N' Roses. We have like real rocker
They're
people.
kind of oldie
Right,
guys.
real rockers. Yes.
Real rockers.
Yes.
They're kind of like oldie guys.
You gotta like love it though. So does your daughter does your daughter watch your like dog movies on Hallmark or on channels?
The dog movies she has seen, I did one when I was pregnant with her and very like visibly pregnant. They wrote the pregnancy into the movie. So she has seen those, but prior to that, she didn't really know what I did. And then, if I go away to work and then come back, I mean, now she understands, but the first few years when she was cognizant of this stuff, she just thought that I knew a lot of people, like anywhere that I went. People would be like, and if they really liked me, they'd be excited to see me in the supermarket, like, hi, oh my gosh. And she just thought, oh, everybody, my mom knows.
Everybody loves my mom.
But I had trouble because somebody said to my daughter when she was about 7 or 8, maybe, they did a show and tell at school, whatever that thing is, where you talk about your parents.
Yes.
And my daughter said, my daddy's on television. And some of the kids said, oh, you're a lie. You're full of baloney. Your father's not on television. And my daughter got so upset. She said, yes, he is. Watch Charlie's Angels. You'll see my dad. He plays a cop, a detective. But of course, it wasn't a weekly thing. It was a one-shot show. So the kids said, oh, I watched it. Your father wasn't on Charlie's Angels.
Right? You can't pull anything over on kids. They will.
No.
Just...
And nowadays they're so much smarter than they were back then too. I think when she's older and she sees Clueless, she's gonna absolutely love it because it's such a great,
I think so.
movie.
She can probably pretty soon. She can probably watch Sabrina. Also.
Yes, yeah.
Actually,
Dawn in the chat room is like my 29-year-old daughter. I watched Sabrina with my daughter who's 29 now, all of the episodes. So
yeah,
she loved it.
I haven't watched it in forever, but I feel like that's something I could do to see that I think it's okay for her.
When did Sabrina end?
Well, let me tell you something. When my daughters, we play cards every Monday night, my two daughters and Jimmy and I.
I love that.
I will sit there and say, oh, I'm starting a new movie next week. And my daughter will say, oh, Jen. They couldn't care less. Neither one. They don't even ask what movie, where, nothing. Jen,
No, so my daughter, I will be on the phone with the producer of my film. And then at first she said, am I going to be in this movie? And I actually, there's one little, just a very important shot of a little girl walking down the hallway in a hospital, and she's carrying something that's pivotal to the scene. So I always thought, gosh, I would love for my daughter to be able to do that if she's still the right age when we get the funding. So she then was telling everyone that she's going to be in her mom's movie. And then I'm talking the next week, and over the course of a couple of months, she would just say, who are you talking to? And I would say, Rick. And she's like, well, didn't you make that movie already? Didn't it already happen? Why does everything take so long? And I'm thinking,
she sounds like
God's ears.
She sounds like a manager in training.
She is. We call her the EP. We call her the executive producer. She's like, what does the EP say?
So wait, did you show her though? Then in the dog movie, the pregnant one that you said that's you?
Yes, and it was a little odd for her.
Hard to understand.
Now she's metabolized it, but then there's the subsequent film. We have a baby. So then her question was, why are you holding a baby that's not me? Why that's not me? I'm not in the movie. And I said, well, it's a working situation,
She'll get it more and more as she goes along. So it makes it fun. So I have a thing I like to do with actors and actresses. We did it with the guy before.
One thing the kids don't like is if you get killed in a movie. They really get very upset. So you have to be careful about.
Let her see that one.
Well, you have to be careful if they in a horror movie, especially if they cut you up and kill you.
Yeah, don't let her see.
Don't let us see it. It really disturbs the children.
He won't even do it.
Yeah.
He won't do a movie where he gets killed.
No, my daughters now said, Daddy, we never want to see you in film dead. They couldn't handle it at their ages now, and we're old.
Right.
Oh, they said your website's beautiful.
Oh, wait. The other thing is, my daughter Leslie said, don't ever play a part where you're in a coffin. Because I couldn't bear looking at it. So there's certain things my kids are like 100 years old.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a daughter that's 52 and one that's 48.
Right. It's upsetting. I think it's upsetting to see.
It is. So be careful about that. Just be careful about that.
So, okay, here's my hypothetical, because you've worked with a lot of people, and normally I would write down all to tell everybody all the cool people
you've quite a work
with, but
resume.
you have such a work resume. But I didn't do it because most other people don't have a book, and I wanted to focus on the book because I know it's really important to you, and everybody's going to love it.
She's been around.
So if you could have, so 2 questions. First of all, bucket list, male and female actor that you think would be great to work with, that you would like to work with, that you haven't worked with. And number 2, if you could have ever been in any movie ever made, what movie would you have liked to have been in? We'll get to see kind of like what you think.
Gary Oldman.
Oh, great pick. Love
number
it.
1. Susan Sarandon, number
Yay,
2.
she might
Great
be in,
pick.
she might be in my movie.
And what movie, if I could have been in it?
Any movie that's ever been in history, so it could be any movie at all. Like, do you
Oh,
have-
that's such a great question. Oh my gosh. As I'm thinking about my favorite films, I'm thinking they all have great roles for men. This is the problem. I was going to say Shawshank
No,
Redemption, and then I'm like,
and I say the
no,
opposite.
there aren't really any women in that movie.
Who are some of your favorite movies?
No, wait,
What are
hang
some
on,
of
hang
them?
on. I say the opposite. All the great roles are for women. Yeah, in the movies that I know, all the
You know
women
what?
clean up.
Gilda, I'd like to be also in
Oh, he loves that movie.
Oh,
any Rita
Rita
Hayworth
Hayworth. Yeah,
movie.
Rita
Yeah.
was. I knew
I
her.
love
Rita
Rita.
Hayworth was a
Did
beautiful
you know Rita?
lady. She lived across the street from me. I lived on Spalding in Beverly Hills, and she lived across. And I ran into her several times on the street. And she was as beautiful as gorgeous red hair and smile. When she didn't smile, she looked like an old lady. The minute she smiled, it was Rita Hayworth. Well, I knew her old. In fact, the night that they took her away in the ambulance, my wife and I were coming home from a party, and we wondered what. And the neighbors the next day said, "Yeah, they came and took Rita away because she went totally, Alzheimer nuts."
Oh,
But
boy.
she was beautiful, lovely old woman, lovely, tiny little thing, the littlest thing you ever
Really?
want. Oh, tiny, and on film
Yeah.
she looks so big. No, little.
Actually, a lot of people though look really tiny because we interviewed. I don't know.
I
if you,
film short and fat, and I'm tall and thin. I mean,
Yeah, he's tall. He's actually really tall, and we
I film short. I don't know how that
a
happens.
few years ago. We did an interview with Stephen Lang, who I don't know if you know who Stephen Lang is, but
Mhm.
he's like the guy from
Yes.
Avatar. He's
We
really
love
really
Stephen.
nice.
I love
I met
him.
him on Twitter, like I met you on Twitter, and he invited us
Mhm.
to a film festival, and we went and interviewed him. And on TV, he looks like huge. I mean, he's all muscle bound and everything, but he's like 5'5". I mean, he's like really short.
Isn't that funny?
And
Right.
you would never know, because I thought, oh my God, when you meet him, he's just going to be able to bulldoze you. And he's the coolest guy ever.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6", so
Yeah,
a
so
lot
he's
of the
about your
time-
type.
So I'm taller than. So even on Sabrina, for example, Melissa is tiny, and Soleil Moonfry, who was also on the show when I was on, the two of them are tiny. So I always felt like this towering
Big girl.
person over them.
And at 5'6",
Almost
you're
5'6".
not. You're not.
Yeah.
Well, Sophia Loren, when she made a movie with Alan Ladd, they had to dig a trench for Sophia to walk
she
in
could
when she
stand-
walked alongside of him, so that she was his height, because Alan Ladd was about 5'4" and Sophia's 5'9.5".
That is so funny.
I mean, and many times they had him on boxes. He had to stand on a
Yes.
box.
Yes, right,
So,
right.
so do you still have to audition? I mean, you have such a large body of work. Do they still make you audition for stuff?
Of course. I mean, there are some things that are offered to me once in a while, but certainly, yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I always ask everybody that. Most everybody says
you
yes.
want the truth.
Yes.
You want the truth.
You want to audition.
No, you want the truth about that, and I'll
Okay.
give you the inside truth. Half of these young jerks today don't know who you are, and that's why
That's the other side.
That's why they want to see the audition, because they have no. I mean, they don't know who she is. These young
Right.
stupid asses.
Wow,
in the
they said in
business.
the chat room. B. Claudia said that. B. Claudia says that you remind her of Catherine Deneuve, the famous actress, because you're
Oh
so
my gosh,
elegant.
that is a gigantic
That's you
compliment.
better believe
Thank
it, because
you.
Catherine Deneuve was magnificent. But again, you have that beautiful smile face. You really should be in all these feel good movies.
Oh
No, because you made me smile, and I was in a rotten mood on this. I told Jimmy, I don't know how I'm going to do 2 hours and be polite. Even I'm angry as all hell, and
I think it's
your
fabulous.
smile is really
It's your joke.
enlightening.
I love that.
No, but
makes-
it's true. It's true. Your smile, as they say, brightens up a day. You have a lovely, you got to cash in on that smile.
Thank you. I'm
That's
gonna
nice to
probably
see.
get back to acting. I've been focusing so much on the book and the
Nah, screw the book.
movie
You did the book. Go back
that I
to
haven't-
acting. No, because your personality and your smile, we need it today. Too many people are
Oh,
too
thank you.
solemn and too sad. Don't you notice the acting has gotten very dark and dramatic and bloody and
Mhm.
mean and hateful and rotten? And
So-
you go to the movies, you come back depressed.
You know what?
Go to your movie, we come back happy.
I really agree with you. I believe there is this dark thing that has happened that is
terrible.
I think we need to move out of that place. And that is my whole goal with my film and with my book, that you can have, it's not that there aren't difficult things in life, but this like need to be super violent or to be so dark and all. I just
demented here for them. The scripts are demented.
Yeah.
You know, like we say it's corny. Doris Day movies were corny. You know what? I was around in that era. When I went to a Doris Day movie, I left smiling. I felt good. Yes, it was a silly film, but it made you feel good. Now I go to the movies and I tell Jimmy, I want to go home. I didn't want to watch this shit.
Right.
It's horrible. Depressing, sad, mean, violent, angry, loathsome. There aren't any nice people in Hollywood.
I think a lot of the problem too, though, and he mentioned it earlier, is just the younger generation. Like, to me,
Jerks.
you know, like if I had a movie and like you fit in, like I would be so excited, you know, to like say, oh my gosh, Elisa Donovan's going to be in my freaking movie. But we have a lot of we don't bring on too many really young people on the show because our audience is basically like 40 to 70 or
and
something like that.
We have a sophisticated audience.
And they like fun and everything like that. But every once in a while we'll bring on somebody who's like a reality star or something, but they're young and really they're not nice. I mean, look how nice, you've got a wonderful body of work and you're like a normal person and you're super nice.
Because they have the cell phone.
But the new people,
nobody communicates. There's no such thing as please, may I, thank you, how nice it is to have met you, have a lovely day. Those things are called phony and crappy. The young kids, they'd rather just say
but these are people who have nothing. They haven't accomplished anything. They're on a reality show for 15 minutes and they're just not nice. And I think it's unfortunate, and they could take a lot of lessons, you know, learned from the older generation.
I do think it's unfortunate.
Unfortunate that I have to work in a film with somebody that hasn't a brain in his head and he thinks he can act and he's reading a line and he doesn't know his ass from his elbow, so you cannot speak to them with the terms that we use in film.
Right.
You can't say to him like, well, I need more of this. What do you want? I mean, they're like brain dead, or they're on pot, or they're on, I don't know what the hell they're on. But they're like coma cases.
It's really true. So you guys, we've got 3 minutes left and I want to get in all this stuff. So first of all, you can go to Elisa's website. It's elisa-donovan.com. Donovan is Donovan. You can follow her on Instagram and Twitter. It's @RedDonovan. You couldn't get Elisa Donovan, or you just wanted Red Donovan?
I like Red Donovan.
Originally, someone had already taken
Grab yours.
Impersonated me, and then when I became verified, I was already verified. That's not, it's Donovan.
Oh yeah, too many N's there, you guys. Donovan. There we go.
So it's REDDONOVAN.
There you go, Roxy.
I like that Red Donovan better because it's catchy.
Yeah, people definitely will remember it. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Remembered it.
Thank you, Roxy. You guys get her book, Wake Me When You Leave. You can get it on all your Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the places that you would buy books. Do you also sell it on your website or no?
Yeah, there are links on the website too.
Oh, okay. So you can go to her website and get the links, and you can go to it, and it'll be fantastic. We want to thank you for coming on.
One final word.
You have a minute and a half.
To everyone out there, if you've just lost someone that you love very much, remember, you have not lost them. They've just stepped into a different room, but they know where you are, and they will come to you in your sleep. They will come and help you. They are not gone. They are just doing their thing somewhere else, as you will one day too. And listen to this gal, because she wrote about it in her book.
And it's going to soon be a movie, and we'll let you know because she'll come back.
Yeah,
on
I want
to
see the movie. Where you're in post-production?
No, she's in.
No, we haven't. We're trying to raise the financing now, but we have great actors attached, and I'm hoping that we are going to bring it over the line.
Good, because it should be an interesting film.
You might want, if you might want to email me some of that because I have people I can send it to if you've got good people attached.
Great. I do.
Anyway, yes, so we can see what we could do. All right, you guys. So this is Elisa Donovan. We want to thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck with everything that you do. You're wonderful.
Thank you so much, guys. This was super fun.
Elisa, keep listening to Dad.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, honey.
We want to thank everybody in the chat room. We want to thank Al Bandero and Elisa Donovan for coming on the show. What a great show.
Sweet
Chat
girl.
room, you guys are
Lovely
fabulous.
girl. Nice guests today. We had very sweet people. I loved them all.
It was really good.
It was a
lot of
very
fun.
uplifting show, except for the beginning with that Facebook rap. But anyway, I get crazy. You know, I get angry, then I get over it. Gemini, what can I tell you?
Absolutely. So we want to thank everybody. We want to thank Roxy. She's fabulous. And we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. So come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.